Hi everyone, my name is Leah Silverman, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to run a normalized difference vegetation index in QGis, also known as an NDVI. An NDVI is a metric used for quantifying the health and density of vegetation using sensor data. Today we're going to be using the sensor data provided by USGS for free on their website, which you can find by Googling earthexplorer.usgs.gov and following the instructions to create an account at the login button that will appear right here on your screen. For today's purposes, we're going to be using Burlington, Vermont. So for feature name, we will put the town, which is Burlington, state is Vermont, and then we'll click Show. Then we'll click on the banner right down here, which should bring us to a pin in the location that we're looking for and load the coordinates. Then we'll scroll down and click on date range and select our date range. Today we're going to be using the month of March 2023, but you could play around with any date range that you wanted. And we'll set our cloud cover by clicking the cloud cover button and dragging this bar down so that our cloud cover is 0 to 10%. So our image is not covered in clouds. Then we will click data sets and we'll select right here landsat, then collection 2 level 1, and then click landsat 8 to 9. Though you could use a different satellite, one of these other landsats if you wanted, though the bands will be different. And then we'll click results. Once it loads, we see these are our two results. We're going to use this one from March 28th, which you can see the date right here. So we'll click the download options icon. Then once this loads, we're going to select the files to download. You could download everything, but we're only using bands 1 through 7, which is designated here with this B1, B2, etc. So we're going to deselect everything else. And then once we've deselected everything, we'll click on this download all selected now button right here. We'll press OK. Make sure you have pop-ups allowed, and that will automatically download for you. Now that we have all of these files downloaded, we're going to move to a new project in QGis and load these into our project. In order to do that, we will click Layer, Add Raster Layer. Then we'll click these 3 dots right here and select our files, which are these right here. This will automatically select all of those files, and then we'll click Add. And it should automatically add all of the files that we are looking for. You can see right here the B7, B6 designates the band type, so I like to rename the data by their bands by right-clicking on the layer, clicking Rename Layer, and then just renaming our layer by the band name rather than the long string. That's a little bit harder to read. Once we've finished renaming the layers, we are going to go ahead and create a natural color image using the red, green, and blue bands. And then after that, we will create an NDVI and then colorize the NDVI so that we can compare the NDVI to the natural color image. So just finishing up our last one. Now to create our natural color band, we're going to click Raster, then Miscellaneous, then Build Virtual Raster. And we'll input our layers. For Landsat 8 and 9, we need bands 4, 3, and 2 for the natural color. So we'll select those and click OK. We'll select place each input file in a separate band, and then we'll create our file. Right here, and then press Run. Now we can see this natural color image is created. We can see that something's wrong since our lake is red right here when it should be blue. And so we'll go ahead and play around with the colors by right-clicking on the layer and clicking Properties. And then in Symbology, we'll switch the red and the blue band. So we'll click here, switch this to band 3. So switch blue to band 1, click apply, and we can see this looks much more accurate, so we'll click OK. And then we'll go through and run our NDVI. We'll go to raster, we'll go to raster calculator, and then we'll use the equation for the NDVI, which is near infrared minus red divided by near infrared plus red. In this case, near infrared is band 5 and red is band 4. So our equation will be band 5 minus band 4 divided by band 5 plus band 4. And we'll just make sure to include this in parentheses. Then we will select our output layer name. I like to call NDVI calculation. Check that our output CRS is the same as our project CRS. And then we can click OK. We'll give it a minute to load. And then once it appears, we will colorize our image by right-clicking on the image, clicking Properties. Right-clicking Properties. And then in symbology, we'll change the render type from single band gray to single band pseudo color right here. And then we'll make sure interpolation is linear, and we'll pick a color ramp. I like this color ramp, which we have right here, which is the red, yellow, green color ramp. You could choose a different color ramp, but red to green is the most accurate, since our most negative values are those with least vegetation, and our most positive are those with the most vegetation. And then we'll click OK, so that it applies to our graph, and here we have right here a colorized image of the distribution of vegetation across Burlington, Vermont. And we can unclick the layer right up here to compare that to our natural color image and just sort of dummy check that this looks correct. So when we look right here, here's the lake, which looks to be pretty red in the image, and then these sort of lighter yellow-orange colors, which looks to be development, whereas this green forest stays pretty green in the NDVI. So that's how you create an NDVI in QGIS. Hope that was helpful. Have a great rest of your day.